Cathy. Hi, Todd. I'm on a healing journey and I'm also a mother of a 5-year-old. I find motherhood is quite challenging and my 5-year-old notices it. So, how can I talk to her and even ask for her support at her level? And I want to do that in a way without compromising her sense of safety and absolutely not asking her to parent me. But just to be a role model and also like practically get support from her. So ask her to play independently while I have a rest. Thank you.
I love that question.
It's a beautiful question. And honestly, that kind of came up this weekend, didn't it, Todd? I was talking with someone who was asking questions about this.
So before you kind of jump into
Okay.
what your 2 cents is, first thing I'm like, oh, this lady, we should never ask for support from our kids because we're the parents and they're the kids and all that. But just the way she frames the question, she's already on this self-awareness journey. Like the fact that she's asking it through this lens of, I don't want my kid to think that she has to take care of me. And
well, can I just jump in so then you can continue?
Yeah.
But then right away, I wrote down on a piece of paper is just change the word support to understanding.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all you have to do. So keep going, but think about it in terms of instead of support, you're looking for her understanding.
Well, and that's totally true because I loved her example, and her example is, how about a little independent play so I could chill out for 15 minutes or a half hour, because that's not the kid parenting us. That's the kid taking care of themselves for a bit so mom can recharge her battery.
And having an understanding of other human beings, needs.
Right. So anyways, that's all I got.
Well, that's exactly where I was going to go, was that the thing about this actually launches into the other stuff we were going to talk about. Okay. So let's just interconnect it all. So in answer to the question, and I'll try and like be focused on this and then I'll broaden it out with the other questions that we've gotten, is that to role model like what it means to be a human being and to be a good support system for our kids, they need to see all the different layers of what it means to be a human being. And I don't mean you need to act it out or pretend it. There's nothing inauthentic about
allow them to show up the way they show up.
Exactly. It's just to be a human being. And what that means is sometimes as a human being, even with the great love you have for your daughter and you love playing with her and being with her, there are times that you're tired and you need to be alone. Or there's times that you're tired and you may be with her, excuse me, but she needs to be maybe watching a show or playing a game or doing a puzzle or reading a book, that you get to, I'm saying this to all parents, you get to introduce your children to, this is what, when I feel this way, this is how I engage. When I'm struggling, this is what I ask for. When I'm tired, I rest my body. When I need help, I ask for it. The clarification, the needing help, we don't ask our children to help us, meaning we don't say, I'm struggling, kid, help me. But we do say, in the home, I will need your help because you are a community member in this home. So when we are cleaning up the books, I need your help because this is your book. And it only makes sense for you to clean up your book, because why would I clean up your book? This is your book. Like, and you don't say that. And again, listen to my tone. You don't say like, it, doesn't make sense. Clean up your own stuff. You're like, doesn't it make more sense that when you take a book out, you put a book away? It's just a really clean. There's nothing in it that's difficult to understand.
How you say it from what energy is
correct.
More important than the words that you choose.
And so then going back to your question is, instead, again, I'm going to say it again a number of times just so everyone gets it. Instead of asking for her support or to be somebody who like gets you and puts their arm around you and says, yes, mom, take a nap. You are instead teaching her to understand you. And she, because she's 5, is not always going to get it. You're going to say sometimes, I really need to rest. And she's going to wake you up 5 times. And that is a strength, that's a muscle we build as parents, is that we understand that we are asking for things that a 5-year-old may not completely understand, but you got to look at it in terms of, this is a building block, that I am not going to never ask for time to rest or say, now I'm going to lay down and rest. You're not saying to your child, hey kid, can I rest? Is that okay with you? Because a 5-year-old most of the time is gonna be like, no,
No, if it's going to
not.
compromise my
Yeah.
ability to play with you, mom, I have no interest.
So instead it's honey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay down. I'm so tired. You know how when you're tired, you have to lay down. I'm going to lay down. You can bring a book, you can bring, maybe her tech time, iPad, whatever, and you can lay down next to me. And, let's set a timer or let's set the clock. And in about 30 minutes, we'll get up, or an hour. And when I'm saying this to you, mom, I don't know for sure that'll work. Meaning I've had plenty of times when my kids were little that I was like, I'm going to go meditate, and can you give me 5 minutes, or please give me 5 minutes? And they didn't. They came in, still asked me a question, or I'm going to take a shower. I'll be out in 10 minutes. And they come in while I'm in the shower. The thing is I view it now in hindsight. At the time, it was frustrating, but these are just little building blocks of, I'm going to do these things. Here's what I expect from you. But because they're young and their brain is developing, sometimes they're going to do it well, but not every time. And even though you may feel frustrated in that moment, don't look at it as it's a failure or I'll never get a nap. Like, you're teaching them in real time how to, and then when they come in and ask a question, you may want to say, remember how I said 10 minutes? I will be out in a second. You don't have to then accommodate every need. But what I'm saying is, a lot of parents will say, how do I get them from coming in the room? These are human beings.
Yeah.
And they may not have they may have heard you, but not heard you. You know what I mean? Like, and we sometimes need to reset those boundaries over and over, just like the kid who leaves their shoes out. And then we say, please put your shoes away. And the next day you're asking again. You are teaching them through repetition and through boundaries, because yelling at them or being angry or giving up completely and saying, why bother taking a nap? Those are the, if we were to put them into parenting categories, yelling at them and it becoming this demanding thing is what we call authoritarian parenting, where basically we're saying, I'm in control. I don't care where you're coming from. You're just going to do this because I told you. Completely giving up and saying, I'm not going to ask you anymore, because what's the point? We often call that permissive parenting, which means you're not really asking them to engage at all.
Mm-hmm.
The middle place is called authoritative parenting, where you are asking for things, or you are teaching them your humanity and these are emotional feelings, and you're talking to them about it, but you are also taking their needs into consideration.
I feel like they should come up with a different word other than authoritative parenting.
I know.
Because it's too close to authoritarian. I just Googled it. It's a parenting style characterized by a balanced approach that combines high expectations and rules with warm support and responsiveness. It's considered to be one of the most effective and beneficial parenting styles. You and I don't subscribe to any type of parenting style, sweetie, but if we did, that would be it, right?
Oh, yeah. And you got to think about these things as umbrellas, right? They're really huge umbrellas.
Yeah.
And so, to Todd's point, Todd and I don't label the things we do. Like, there's no, when people are like, what, how do I be a Zen parent? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just talk
What are you asking
about,
me for?
I don't know, like, because Zen doesn't have a definition. What I'm talking about are undefinable things. Like, how do we in the moment deal with things? How do we take care of ourselves? And these are ongoing journeys. So there's no answer. It's like the great paradox, right? There is no answer to this question. But if we really had to put our lives under, if we had to, authoritative is the big umbrella that, the things we talk about tends to fall under, for this reason. You are sharing what you need to, you are taking your humanity into account, but you are also taking your child's humanity into account. See what I mean? So it's like, you can say, I need to rest, but you have to understand, brain development wise, a 5-year-old cannot respond in the same way an adult can. They're not always going to remember. They're not always going, they may need you. They may not have the ability to maintain that 30 minutes by themselves. And so what you're doing is it's like it's helping them practice, like grow their brain.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's helping you establish a sense of yourself along the way. I know that, as Todd and I have been doing the show for almost 13 years, and, we tend to focus most on the things we're experiencing ourselves. So we don't talk about little kids as much as we used to.
Yeah, that's when
we
you have to go
started
back
the
in
show.
the archives.
But one thing that I know we talked about is that you're literally teaching them in real time how to interact with the world. Every conversation you're having with your daughter is teaching her how to not only have a conversation with you, but what it looks like to communicate effectively. Or you setting a boundary of, I need to rest, teaches her that it's okay to rest. Sometimes you saying, telling her, wait a second, I told you that I needed 10 minutes, and reminding her teaches her that you can have boundaries.
Yeah.
But there is my big but at the end of every sentence is it doesn't mean it'll work every time. And that's the patience that we have to develop in ourselves. Is we sometimes look at kids as, tell me what to do, I'll do it, and then they'll do it. That's not the way human beings work. Same with our partners.
Yeah. That's not establishing a growth mindset. That's trying
Thank
to
you.
teach robots.